Myself Cam Rupnavar from Tujaram Chatuchanda College, Baramati, and today we are going to learn a new paper CHE 5306 Instrumental Analysis. This is a practical course, and in this practical course, we have to perform various experiments. The index is given here. Almost 21 practicals are given in the index, but out of them we have to perform 16 experiments. And the first experiment heading is to determine amount of each paranitrophenol from the given sample by spectrophotometric titration. Today we are going to see the important facts which are useful to perform this experiment. This is the heading of experiment number 1, to determine amount of each paranitrophenol from the given sample by spectrophotometric titration. And you have already performed this experiment during the skill development program. UV visible spectrophotometer which is used in our laboratory is Shimadzu software, and this is the UV visible spectrophotometer and which is connected to a computer. That means the system is a computer controlled device. And these are the basic parts of UV visible spectrophotometer. There is a need of light source. The light source should be which works in the ultraviolet and the visible region. Here is the collimator. Collimator passes parallel light through it. Then there is a prism or grating which is used as a monochromator to convert polychromatic light into a monochromatic light. Then there is a wavelength selector or a slit. After that, the incident radiations are I0. This I0 passes on the sample solution. This is a tube or the cuvette. A cuvette is made up of quartz material specially for the ultraviolet visible region, which is useful in the UV visible spectrophotometer. The I0 intensity of incident light is I0, which passes through the solution. Solution absorbs some amount of light or the energy, and then the molecules or atoms or ions or electron goes to the excited state and then comes to the ground state with the some amount of light emission. And this is a transmitted light. Sample absorbs light and some amount of light is emitted or the transmitted in the and intensity of that light is IT, means intensity of the transmitted light. Here is the detector, which is photovoltaic cell, is always used as a detector in the ultraviolet visible spectrophotometer. And this is a digital display or meter. That means this is a readout device, and simply the machine is a computer controlled. And the principle of UV visible spectrophotometer is simply the absorption of light, and there is a emission of certain amount of light or two processes occurs simultaneously. Principle is written here. The UV radiation region extends from 10 nanometer to the 400 nanometer, and the visible radiation region extends from 400 nanometer to 800 nanometer. Near ultraviolet region 200 nanometer to 400 nanometer, and far UV region is below 200 nanometer. Far UV spectroscopy is studied under vacuum condition. The common solvent which is used for preparing a sample to be analyzed is either ethyl alcohol or hexane. In UV region, this solvent useful is ethyl alcohol or hexane. Obviously, we can perform same experiment on the colorimeter, but colorimeter is the instrument which does not measure the exact absorbance or exact wavelength, or there is a chances of precise readings but not accurate readings. So that we will use, instead of colorimeter, UV visible spectrophotometer for the study. And colorimeter works in the region 400 to 800 nanometer. On colorimeter, we cannot perform the experiment in the ultraviolet region. Only it works in the visible region. Colored substance absorbs light of different wavelength in different manner and hence get an absorption curve in the colorimetry. The lambda at which maximum absorption takes place is called as the lambda max, or wavelength of maximum absorption. Lambda max is a characteristic for every colored substance. On plotting a graph of concentration versus absorbance, we will get a calibration curve. This curve is useful for determination of the concentration or amount of a drug substance in the given sample solution or in the unknown sample solution. This is the somewhat information about UV spectroscopy. UV spectroscopy is concerned with the study of absorption of ultraviolet radiation, which ranges from 200 to 400 nanometer. Valence electron absorb the energy, thereby molecules undergo transitions from ground state to the excited state. This absorption is a characteristic and depends on the nature of electrons present. There are the various types of electrons as the sigma electron, pi electrons and the n electrons. Sigma electrons found in the saturated compounds, pi electrons found in the unsaturated compounds and the n electrons found in non-bonded electrons. These are the two laws which are useful for the spectrophotometry, either colorimetry or the UV visible spectrophotometry. According to Lambert's and Beard's law, absorbance is directly proportional to the concentration and absorbance is directly proportional to the path length. And this is the equation of combined Lambert's-Beard's law. Absorbance is equal to epsilon by C. Epsilon is the molar absorptivity, B is the path length and C is the concentration. Absorbance is a quantity which is unitless. Molar absorptivity unit is liter per mole centimeter, and path length is in centimeter and concentration is in moles per liter. Such type of plots were observed on the UV visible spectrophotometer. On the y-axis there is the absorbance, on the x-axis there is a wavelength scan or wavelength in nanometer, and wavelength can be ranges from 200 to 1100 or 1100 nanometer in our instrument which is in our lab, and absorbance is always less than 1, that's why the reading starts from 0 to 1, and this is the lambda max value. And this plot is given here for example how the plot is observed on the machine. The electronic transitions which are found in the UV visible region are n to pi star. See here, first one is a bonding sigma, second is a bonding pi, third one is a non-bonding n, anti-bonding pi star, and last energy level is a anti-bonding sigma star. Here the transition occurs bonding sigma to anti-bonding sigma star. This transition is called as a sigma to sigma star transition. When transition occurs from bonding pi to anti-bonding pi, this transition is called as a pi to pi transition. When the transition occurs from non-bonding n to anti-bonding sigma star, the transition is known as a n to sigma star transition. And last transition is the non-bonding n to anti-bonding pi star. This transition is called as a n to pi star transition. This transition specifically occurs in various compounds. First one is a sigma to sigma star transition. Sigma electron from orbital is excited to corresponding anti-bonding orbital sigma star. The energy required is large for this transition. For example, methane CH4 has a CH bond only and can undergo sigma to sigma star transition and shows absorbance maxima at 125 nanometer. Means this is a single bond. Single bond is called as sigma bond, and transition occurs from sigma to sigma star. Such type of transition occurs in the single bonded compounds. Then pi to pi star transition, obviously pi is a bonding and pi star is an anti-bonding state, and there is a transition occurs. Such type of transitions occur in the compounds which contain multiple bonds like alkenes, alkynes, carbonyl, nitriles and aromatic compounds, and all these compounds undergo pi to pi star transitions. And examples are alkenes, generally absorbed in the region 170 to 205 nanometer. Third type of transition is N to sigma star transition. Obviously N is a non-bonded state, and the non-bonding electrons are from the lone pair of electrons which are present on the atoms like oxygen, nitrogen and sulfur and halogens, and these are capable for N to sigma star transition. These transitions are usually requires less energy than sigma to sigma star transitions. The number of organic functional groups which contains oxygen, nitrogen and sulfur shows such type of transitions, and the peak is observed in the ultraviolet region at 150 to 250 nanometer. Fourth transition is the N to pi star transition. An electron from non-bonding orbital is promoted to antibonding pi star orbital, and the compounds which contain double bond involving heteroatom like oxygen, nitrogen, C double bond O, C triple bond O, N double bond O, such a type of compounds undergo N to pi star transition. And N to pi star transition requires minimum energy and shows absorption at an longer wavelength around 300 nanometer. And applications of UV visible spectrophotometers are: this technique is useful for qualitative and quantitative analysis. It is useful for characterization of aromatic compounds and the conjugated olefins. It can be used to find out molar concentration of the solute under study. This technique is useful for detection of impurities. It is one of the important methods to detect impurities in organic solvent. Again, UV visible spectrophotometer is useful for detection of isomers. Then this technique is useful for determination of molecular weight using Beer's law. And these are some common chromophores which shows the transitions N to pi star, N to sigma to sigma star and so on. These are the examples. The carbon-carbon double bond, obviously pi to pi star transition is there, as we have seen. Double bond containing compound shows pi to pi star transition. Then there is a heteroatom shows N to pi star transition. Then N double bond O nitromethane, it shows N to pi star or pi to pi star transition, and wavelengths are given here. Molar absorptivity values are given here, and the solvent which is used is written here. Then our actual experiment is here. The experiment first, whose aim is to determine amount of each para-nitrophenol from the given sample by spectrophotometric titration. The instrument required for this experiment is UV visible spectrophotometer. Apparatus required are cuvettes, burette, pipette, volumetric flask, beaker, etc. And chemicals which are required for this experiment are 0.001 molar para-nitrophenol 100 ml and 0.001 molar sodium hydroxide 250 ml. Procedure is written here. First part is determination of lambda max of para-nitrophenol. Here, initially we have to standardize the UV visible spectrophotometer. For that, we have to take a blank solution. Blank solution does not contain para-nitrophenol. In the two cuvettes, take blank solution and insert it into the sample holder and see it auto zero and do baseline correction. After that, take highest concentration of PNP solution in the one cuvette and scan the spectrum in the wavelength region 100 to 750 nanometer. Measure the values of absorbance and select the wavelength with which experimental solution shows maximum absorbance. Put all the solutions for measurement of absorbance in the UV visible spectrophotometer. Note down the absorbance and the lambda max value. For determination of unknown concentration, repeat same procedure as above, which is used for the standard solutions. Record absorbance and find out unknown concentration by plotting a graph of absorbance versus concentration. Here are the solution preparation. We have to prepare initially 0.001 molar para-nitrophenol. Para-nitrophenol, it is a solid. Suppose we have to prepare 1 molar 1 liter para-nitrophenol. At that time there is a requirement of 139 gram of PNP. And now we have to prepare 0.001 molar 100 ml para-nitrophenol. So how much amount of para-nitrophenol solid can be weighed? So just do multiplication. X is equal to 139 into 0.001 molar into 100 ml divided by this one 1000. That after calculating these terms on calculator, the value of X comes 0.0139 gram. So that we have to take weight 0.0139 gram of para-nitrophenol, dissolve it in the solvent sodium hydroxide. Here the sodium hydroxide is used as a solvent. So that we have to prepare again second solution 0.001 molar sodium hydroxide, 250 ml is required. So as same above, 1 molar 1 liter sodium hydroxide is prepared after dissolving 40 gram of sodium hydroxide powder in the solution or in the water. Same way we have to prepare 0.001 molar 250 ml sodium hydroxide. So that how much amount of sodium hydroxide is required to just multiplication. X is equal to 40 into 0.001 into 250 divided by this one 1000. So X value comes 0.01 gram. This is a not measurable value, so that we have to prepare 500 ml of NaOH. For that we have required a weight of sodium hydroxide which is 0.02 gram. Then prepare observation table like this. First column is of flask number 1 to 7. Second is ml of 0.001 molar para-nitrophenol taken. Third one is the total dilution with sodium hydroxide. Dilute all the solutions to 25 ml. And third column is for concentration, which is in molar. And I have written all the calculated concentrations here. How the concentrations are calculated written here. And last column is of absorbance, which will be noted from the UV visible spectrophotometer. And concentrations are calculated as follows. Take our general formula. M1V1 is equal to M2V2. The M1 is the initial concentration is 0.001 molar, and from that we have taken 0.2 ml of para-nitrophenol, which is equal to M2 as it is, and total volume is 25 ml. So just do multiplication. M2 is equal to 0.001 into 0.2 divided by 25. So concentration comes 8 into 10 raised to minus 6 molar. Same way you can calculate all the concentrations and just write down here. And when your teacher will give you a solution of unknown, just put this solution to the UV visible spectrophotometer and measure its absorbance, and from this absorbance by plotting a graph of absorbance versus concentration, you can get the concentration of the unknown substance. Before that, on the UV visible spectrophotometer, we will get such a type of a spectrum. Absorbance is on the y-axis and wavelength in nanometer on the x-axis. Here absorbance is started from 0 to 1, and the wavelength scan is from 250 to 600 nanometer. Here is the lambda max which is observed is the 400 nanometer for the para-nitrophenol, and this curves are for, first one is for 0.2, 0.4, 0.6, 0.8, 1.0 and 1.2, and this curve is obtained for the unknown solution. From this you can note down the absorbance values, which obviously we will get on the UV visible spectrophotometer. Now we have the absorbance values, we have the lambda max. From this plot a graph of absorbance versus concentration, and we know the absorbance of the unknown, which is obtained from the UV visible spectrophotometer. Just interpolate the line on the x-axis and find out the concentration of a unknown substance, and note down this concentration in the result. Result includes description, unknown concentration of para-nitrophenol, and just note your